Hey guys, oh well, gonna have to wing another one here. Just checked this one. We had a good bit of instability throughout the day, and then came across this. Well, not that so much at double lot 19, 1549 kilometers per second. So 400 kilometers per second of wind speed within the magnetopause area being measured by these GOES 13, 14, and 15 satellites in here is this is where these numbers are coming from. Click the lower box on the right down here so you can see these things much better. 400 kilometers per second equals close to 1,000,000 miles an hour. So we're talking close to 4,000,000 miles an hour there. 3 plus for sure, over 3.5 million. But what's 500,000, give or take? So this is the solar wind speed inside the magnetopause. Now it lasted for 24 minutes. I'll just step it through for you. These are 4-minute increments. It's happened at double odd midnight UTC, 19 minutes. So 5 hours from that, so it's like 7:05 Eastern Standard Time. So it stayed pretty high. 13, 23, 11. Then it went down to 9, 26. Then it went to 7, 7, 26, 706, 6. And came back down. The whole thing started around 21, 57 UTC. So that's about 4:57 Eastern Standard Time today. Went to 900. You see all these chevrons. You know something's going to happen when you see all the chevrons. 930. And I looked at it earlier today. There was another 900 somewhere back here, which is too far back. Can't see it anymore. But I was looking at it this morning, and there was one that went to 9 something, but that was it. So it didn't feel it was enough to justify a video. But it looks like this thing started happening around 21:57. Then they only had a 2-minute increment. Usually they go 4, so they know something's going on when they only jump at 1 or 2 minutes. So that was 21:57. There's 22:07, so that's 10 minutes there. Still staying up in the 700, high 700s. I went back down to 6:11. Went back into the 380s, 390, 4, coming back up, 449. We're getting waves of energy hitting the front of the magnetopause. 470, 5.25, 492, 468. Then it goes wham, 1549. Here's what it looked like on here. That's crazy looking there, huh? Those are blue. So that's IMF field line. So that's connected to something. Looks like it's squiggling all the way down here and all the way out here and connecting to Nemesis back here. That's a blue one, guys. Then we got these red ones. Look at how jiggity jaggedy they are. Those are closed field lines. But what are they closed on? I don't know, man. Looks like they're looping way around here. Way around here. And then they're coming back, doing a little turn there. And somehow they're getting linked up back to the planet. I've never seen anything like that. That's freaking insane. There's 1349. At least the polar cap field lines are looking pretty dark, so it looks like we got some energy anyway in the magnetosphere, magnetopause. Maybe for that, with that lull in the action for a few days. But look at these Nemesis field lines, these blue ones. They're creeping closer and closer. They used to just come up the middle, and they got inside 20, some around 15, maybe 12 the other day. Now, oh man, I don't know. It's like there's more of them, and they're bunching up and getting closer to the planet. Now that's looking pretty weak there, the magnetosphere. But these waves of energy, watch these waves come through, and then watch all these blue interplanetary magnetic field lines in front of the planet. That's all coming from that big planet that passed ACE on October 16th. Read my hypothesis number 1 and you'll see what I'm talking about. There's that event there. Here's 2157 when it went to 900. That's when it started getting weird. But look at these field lines. Those are all blue. So they're connecting to Nemesis right away as soon as they leave the planet. As soon as they leave the Earth and try to expel this extra plasma energy, all this blue, dark blue stuff. The Earth's trying to expel it. Black field lines, polar cap ones, few and far between in this. And some of these shots are closing. Look how weak it is. And look at Nemesis trying to creep up in there. Okay, well, only at 6:40. That's pretty good. We got a lot of time left. So here's what it looked like. And see what I'm talking about? Look at that wave of energy. That was at double lot 43. I mean, and you look at these solar wind numbers coming from ACE. So at double lot 43, well, you got to take maybe an hour back. Well, less than an hour. It doesn't take that long. So right around double zero midnight UTC. Here's the solar wind numbers. Purple. It's only 422, 419. So it's starting to climb, and it did climb up into the low, very low 500s. Now it's going back down into the 480s. But up here you can see, and this is a data gap from 2207 to 2347. So that's like an hour and 40 minutes. That's a data gap. I checked it. If I have time, we'll go back and I'll show it to you. So that means there's something blocking the data transfer from ACE back to the Earth. So we're missing this here, but it looks like, see, everything, we were running pretty smooth for quite a while there with 180 or less phi angle. So that indicated a connection between the sun to the Earth, through the big planet to the Earth to Nemesis, because I think they're all four connected. Or whenever it was down closer to zero, that meant it was Earth through the big planet to the sun, with Nemesis tagging along in there somewhere. But look around 17 or 1822, it says up there, there's the time. 1822, that's when the connection went up, started connecting more to Nemesis behind the Earth. The connection became stronger with Nemesis than it was with the big planet out front of the Earth and the sun, because that's what these phi angles indicate. So you can see that it went up into the 300s to high 290s, and then it dropped back down again around 20 UTC, then went right back up, then it dropped down again, it went right back up, and then we got this missing an hour and 40 minutes, and then it was like all over the place for about an hour or so, and then boom, now it's up around into the 350s, high 300, 310, 315, high 290 range. So it looks like the connection's getting more firmly established with Nemesis, and that's why I think we're getting all these higher solar wind numbers from Nemesis. So you could see I showed you what it was out here at the L1 Lagrange point. That's where the ACE and the Discover satellites reside. I showed you, just showed you the solar wind speeds being recorded by Discover. That's 930,000 miles in front of the planet. So in no way does that figure in to what these wind speeds are inside the magnetopause. And you can see all the energy bleeding in. Watch these bow shocks behind the Earth. They get broken. That's when more energy bleeds in. And you can just see these waves of energy coming in. And it's not coming from the sun. I mean, it is coming from the sun, but it's being amplified and slung at us from that big planet out in front of the Earth. And these are some of the field lines, I think, from the big planet, and maybe even from Nemesis now, trying to wrap around to the Earth. So I think it's that close, guys. So we got a major squeeze going on there. We'll just run it through real quick. Up to 11 minutes. I was running out of time. So what I was showing you was, look at this. The bow shock's normally out around 10, and you can see the secondary bow shock is. But when we took that hit from that energy being slung in from at double at 43, we took that hit. Look how much it compressed the bow shock down almost to the 22,236 mile geosynchronous orbit, which is where these satellites reside. This goes 13, 14, and 15, which are giving us all this data for these simulations. And this is Nemesis solar wind speed. It's coming from behind the planet. It's all being recorded inside the magnetosphere, the magnetopause. Nobody else I've seen telling you that. So, I mean, no one's telling you about the phi angle. No one's telling you about the solar wind speed from Nemesis inside the magnetopause, and a whole bunch of other stuff that I can't recount right now. So, who's telling you the truth, guys? You gotta focus, man. Weed out the bad and go with the good, because the time is getting short. I guarantee it. And look at the bow shock. It's getting all scrolled around. See the energy building up behind the planet. Okay, so that's when there's one big solar wind speed numbers from Nemesis came in. And that's the last shot we had. Look at that. That's crazy. Here's Geospace. You can see this starts at 132 UTC on the 5th. It runs up close to 5. You can see we got all kind of pressure, and you can see this is what I'm talking about, the secondary bow shock. Look how it's all flattened out back here, because that's all solar wind pressure and density coming from Nemesis trying to get to the Earth. There's the secondary bow shock. There's the first bow shock. I don't know, we've been having this little stream of less pressure in between both recently. So there's that. And the links are below in the description box. You can pull up the link to the solar ham, L1 Lagrange point. There's the density. Look at the density. This is on Geospace. This is all getting the data from the GOES 13, 14, and 15 in the geosynchronous orbit, just giving us a little different presentation. This is the Z cut looking straight down on the planet. There's the Y cut looking across. This is the Z cut looking straight down on the planet. This is the Y cut looking straight across. Remember I showed you the 8-hour data gap on Discover a few days ago? Looks like it's showing up on ACE now, because even though these both satellites are up at the L1 Lagrange point, they're not exactly in the same position. So now we're getting the data gap on, which probably has something to do with these big planets or whatever that are showing up on the MLSO. They didn't sanitize this yet. You can see all this stuff flying around and all the extra energy. Running out of time. God bless. Peace.